This plastic surgeon had a huge impact on my performance, and it's not because of a plastic surgery. Dr. Maxwell Maltz wrote this amazing book, Psycho-Cybernetics, which he wrote in the 1960s, and yet it's super relevant to this day. He was a famous plastic surgeon in the US, and he had a lot of patients who came to him because they were not happy with their looks. And then he would reduce their nose, and even though it looks exactly as they wanted it to, they're still unhappy. He then realized that it's not only the looks that matter, but how we see ourselves. And he calls it the self-image. And the self-image determines what kind of person you are. It's like our own mental blueprint. And it's relevant for us because it also determines what we believe we can achieve. So if you believe you can do something, the likelihood of you achieving it is much higher. It's not a guarantee, of course, but it's much higher. While when you believe something is not possible, you just won't be able to do it. A person always acts in a way that is consistent with their self-image. The self-image sets the boundaries of individual accomplishment. Let's say you believe you're a poor speaker. You're not good with people, you're not good at public speaking, you're always nervous. Then whatever you do, you will not be able to completely blow everyone away with your speech. It's just not possible. Since we conform to our self-image, our own estimate of what we can do, it's very important that you control your self-image. You can make your self-image grow or let it shrink. It's really up to you, and you have it in your power. The way I like to see this is the game Sims. I played Sims Busting Out on Game Boy Advance. That's how old this is. Whenever you talk to another character in the game, you see this bar next to this person, and it will determine the quality of the relationship you have. The more positive things you'd say to that person, let's say give them a compliment, the more this bar would increase. And when you would offend them or say something mean, it would go down. Here are 3 things you can do to take charge of your self-image. Visualize success. He really recommends visualization as a prime tool and mental rehearsal. The reason is, as Dr. Maxwell Maltz describes it, our nervous system cannot really differentiate between what we really see and what we imagine to see in our inner eye. Your mind and body actually believes you did it. So what you could do is visualize how you're gonna be up there, how you're gonna crush it, how you're gonna feel really good up there. And if you can, look at past performances. Look at all the times where you just did really well. Just looking at that will already increase your self-image, because you're telling yourself, hey, I can do this. This is nothing new for me. Oh man, look at this. I'm doing so well. Every time you look and do something positive for yourself, your self-image naturally grows. And that's what you want to do. Positive self-talk. Just like in the Sims game, whenever you say something positive, give a compliment or nice to this person, the bar will go up. In this case, you're not talking to someone else, you're talking to yourself. When someone's criticizing, you just feel awful, right? And that's what we're doing to ourselves very often. So instead, be the super friendly, supportive friend to yourself and tell the most amazing things. Say, I can do this, you're amazing, look at what you did before. Reframing failures. When you make a mistake or have a failure, your self-image naturally shrinks. So it's very, very important that you're not too harsh on yourself. So as an example, as a comedian, it always happens that you bomb. You do badly at a show. And instead of just saying, oh man, this was shit, oh, I shouldn't have done this and this. Every time you do this, every sentence I say, every time it just goes down. So don't focus on this at all. Of course, it's important to learn from it, but don't dwell on it. That's the worst. When you dwell on it, every single time you think about something, the lower it gets. So just learn from it and then reframe it as a win. See it as a learning opportunity, and that it was necessary to make yourself better in the long term. Always make sure you take care of your self-image. It really determines what you can do and what you cannot. So every time you tell yourself, I can do something, you're always increasing your self-image, while the other way, when you criticize yourself or think something's not possible, you're shrinking it. I once thought swimming across a lake was impossible because of a shark. Here's how I use visualization to overcome that.